Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com here, back again with another cryptocurrency video. Today is my first live stream, actually, that I'm ever doing. I wanted to make sure to cover these cryptos while this is a time where the market is dropping very, very heavily. I did not want to be like many YouTubers out there who just hide in a corner and don't update their viewers and audience. I want to be there, right there with you, helping you, weather this bear market, right? We are seeing cryptos fall lower this Saturday, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about that. Now, I mentioned in my video yesterday, which was a regular daily update, that we were having a bit of a waterfall type drop here, where the drop was speeding up and continuing, right? The fact of the matter is, if we look at this chart, which is a bit messy, I can maybe go on a cleaner chart in just a second, but we actually don't have much support, between 20,000 all the way down to around 13,000, $12,000. There's barely any support at all, right? And in these type of events, the drops tend to increase in speed as well. And by the way, make sure to message me in the chat. I'll be answering any questions, not only for Bitcoin, but any crypto out there. If you want to go ahead and ask me to analyze specific coins, please go ahead and let me know in the chat. That's what it's there for. So go ahead and ask me anything you want. I will cover it. I'll look at the chart, give you my opinion, my analysis. Keep in mind, none of this is financial advice, so please be careful out there. And hopefully you enjoy these live streams. I'm going to be starting this much more often, especially on big days like this. So make sure to go ahead and give a big like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. Now, in terms of Bitcoin specifically, right, we're at $18,614. I'll go ahead and open up a cleaner chart here, just so you don't have to. That one is even more messy. I have a lot of messy charts on TradingView. There we go. This is a much cleaner chart here where you can see what's happening. So basically, right, as far as Bitcoin is concerned, we have these drops, right, that are very sharp right now. And in between, we have these consolidations like this, right? But so basically, we're getting sharp drops, a bit of consolidation, sharp drops, and people get caught in this type of pattern where, for example, right here, right, they think, oh, this is the time to buy because we already dropped a lot, right? So they'll go ahead and buy here thinking that we're going to get some type of bounce. What do we get instead? Just steady consolidation, right? And then we actually end up dropping again. They will typically get liquidated here if they're long. And at that point, right, the cycle continues until we actually find the true bottom, at which point we'll, typically stable out for a longer period of time and then come back up. So that is kind of what to keep in mind in this type of event, that it's not just going to be a one-shot thing. And that is really, really important to keep in mind in this type of event. Also, please make sure to consider using super chats if you want me to see your comments or ask me to check out a specific coin. It'll help me see that in the chat as well. Now, so right now, until we see some type of very, very sharp bottom put in for Bitcoin, you can expect more downside, right? And the levels we talked about, I'll go ahead and draw this in on this cleaner chart, right around $13,000 is where we're going to be expecting to really get some type of steadier bounce, or at least a consolidation that lasts. And that's still around the 25% drop from where we are right now. We are dropping fast, and the good thing about that is the faster we drop, the more likely we are to get a more significant bounce. But also, right, like I said, these bounces typically need to be put in with a very large candlestick wick. For you who don't know that much about candlesticks, you can check out my technical analysis master course. I explain candlestick trading in this. There's a link in the description to this. And what these wicks mean is that buyers bought up these price levels, right? Especially these massive wicks like this. And you can see that any true bottom that Bitcoin has put in, right, for the most part, is always followed by fairly sizable wicks. Like right here, right, we had that big wick that put in the bottom, we went higher. Over here, same thing, right? So to really get bottoms that last, you need those bigger wicks. If you don't get those wicks, right, you end up typically falling lower. So that is really important to keep in mind. We still haven't really seen that peak fear right now. People are steady selling. And I also want to keep in mind, we have huge liquidations coming in right now live, right? Every few $100s we move down, we're talking thousands, hundreds of thousands of liquidations, right? Every time that happens. And we also have major entities, major hedge funds in crypto that have huge liquidations. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars that have already either been hit during this drop or will be hit in the next coming days as we continue to the downside. If you don't know Three Arrows Capital, for example, they confirmed heavy losses from the collapse of Terra Luna, and that is just one firm, right? They're talking about this spreading to many other VC firms in the crypto space, and we're seeing this live, right? We have so many crypto either platforms or VC funds that are going under, literally getting liquidated and cannot cover their margin calls, which is, it sounds like almost a bit of a joke that, you know, people which that size are experiencing that, but it is the truth of what's happening. So that is, you know, the unfortunate reality of what's happening right now. And we can see that Bitcoin is breaking, of course, the highs of the previous cycle, right? That was in December 2017. And that is why we're seeing such sharp downside now, because that was a huge psychological support level, right? That was that $20,000. It's been an important level very steadily in the past, right? Over here and over here. Basically, right? Back here in 2017, that was the peak high. And guess what? Back here in December 2020, it was the beginning of the massive breakout, right? That really brought crypto into the mainstream. That was this move right here. So this is why this 20K level, right, is so important. And that is why when we fell below it, we saw so much panic happen across the board. And I'll go ahead and put in the previous high level at $20,000 flat. So you see now the type of range we're playing in, right? I would not even pay attention to above $20,000 right now. It's potentially even more distracting than anything else. But I do think that now we need to look at where are we going to get that bounce and be prepared for that. I'm going to go ahead and move over to Ethereum. Just want to welcome anybody to the live stream here. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep up with the comments. I saw Derek here, first comment on live. Welcome, Derek. And I really want to cover, you know, anything that's about a top 100 coin. I saw someone mention God's coin. I am briefly familiar with that coin. It is a metaverse token. I believe I might take a look at that in a second. Just want to cover some of the bigger coins here first. And like I said, please go ahead, let me know any questions you have. This is what this live stream is for, right? I want to be with you during this market drop. I don't want to, you know, go hiding like many other YouTubers. I want to be right there with the crowd, experiencing this market drop. And I want to, you know, also remind everybody that yes, these are not fun times, right? When the market is dropping so much and you're potentially losing a lot of money. But please remember that in the long term, not only are these experiences will make you a better trader, right? A stronger trader, but also this could be a buying opportunity. Please keep in mind, none of this is financial advice. And obviously it's pretty much impossible to call the exact bottom. But what we do know is that historically, right, we are already at very good price levels. And for example, for Ethereum, looking at the price right now, $938. If you watched my video yesterday, I said that Ethereum can easily fall to $500, if not get a peak bottom around $350. And some of you might be wondering why maybe that doesn't worry me more. Well, the reason for that is because I see this from the long-term perspective. And guess what? I just pulled up the weekly chart here for Ethereum, and we are oversold. I want you to go back in time and look at how many times on the weekly chart we've been oversold for Ethereum. Well, guess what? It may surprise you, but literally one single other time where we ever oversold since the beginning of Ethereum on the weekly chart. And right now, we're actually more oversold on this chart than back then, right? We peaked bottom around 28 on the RSI, and right now we're sinking below 25 on the RSI as we speak. So this is oversold right now. So regardless, right, if you believe in crypto long term, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I am very confident will be around in the future for decades to come, this is a sign that this is actually going to be a great buying opportunity long term, whether it's now or $500 or $350 peak bottom, something like that. Regardless, right, you're going to be getting in much better than anybody who got in on the way here, right? And of course, I do feel bad for anybody who experienced, accumulating in these ranges. It is the reality of crypto, and this depends on how you were getting in crypto. If you're dollar cost averaging, I personally was dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin pretty high, around $30,000-$40,000. So even I am on the red in those positions, but I'm taking this opportunity to really be a bit of a sniper here and target this peak bottom, load up on this way down. I already bought a few altcoins. I can talk about which ones I bought. Actually, I got some Uniswap, some Sushi Swap. I also got ENS. These are some ERC20 altcoins that I believe in from the long term. I also want to just say that altcoins have actually been falling not as much as Bitcoin and Ethereum right now in the last, let's say, 12 hours. And the reason for that is many of these coins have already fallen substantially even before Bitcoin and Ethereum started sinking. And they're really kind of hitting their floor prices, right? Where there's not that much that they can go down more with this amount of drop that we've already seen, right? If we go ahead and look at coins like Uniswap, for example, which is one of the coins that I accumulated, this is down 92%. I want to remember and remind everybody that Uniswap has a cumulative trading volume on its decentralized exchange of over $800 billion, which is massive, right? It is a AAA blue chip DeFi project on Ethereum, which is of course the largest smart contract platform, and it's down 92.2%. You do need to understand, right, what is the floor price for these coins. This is back prices that we saw when it first launched, literally in September 2020 at $3.44. We're now at $3.54. Uniswap is being used much more than back then. Everybody knows Uniswap. And I think that on the next bull market, we're going to be easily going to and above the previous all-time highs. And that's why I said a lot of these altcoins are starting to slow down the drop just because they are already so low, right? 92% drop on something like Uniswap. We're not going to go that much lower than that, in my opinion. Now, also want to welcome a few people here. We've got Lawrence saying hi and saying that he's a follower since 2018. That's amazing. A lot of respect for anybody who's been in the space for several years. If you have been around since 2017, 2018, you have likely experienced a lot of different cycles in crypto, from pumps to consolidation to harsh bear markets. You've experienced it, and that makes you a more well-rounded crypto investor, because you know that anything is possible in the crypto space, right? A lot of these coins come and go. If you've been around since 2017, most of those coins literally are nowhere to be seen on the top 100 leaderboard of CoinMarketCap. Also, we got Ryder over here saying, can you take a look at QNT? I believe this is Quant. This is a token that a lot of people are pretty enthusiastic about. It is a token that is aiming for, I believe, CBDCs. So right now, currently sitting at $50. Right below that, actually, its market cap is around 650 million. This is a coin that went up substantially on this recent bull market, right? We can see a high of about $427, but very sharp decline with almost no bounces since then. However, it has come down near to this floor over here that I'm seeing at around $40. Could we go lower? It is possible, but it seems like it really has a very substantial floor here around this $35 to $40 price level, and I think that could actually be what might be the end of the downside, or at least where things will really start slowing down to the downside for Quant, and already incurred a 88% downside. So that is also showing signs that we are reaching some type of bottom soon. I also wanted to mention that a coin like this that had a lot of previous supporters will likely do quite well in the previous bull market, especially Quant with the specific industry that it's in. Now, going back to Ethereum, I did want to point out where I think we're going to be heading in the next few days. I think that this weekend in general is not going to spare us from further downside, right? I think we're going to experience more steady selling, and Monday is a holiday where you cannot do bank transfers in the US, and that means that there's substantially less volume, for one, on weekends, but especially on weekends like this, 3-day weekends, and that is targeted by short sellers, by people that are trying to liquidate these hedge funds. This is literally why they're doing this on days like this, to take advantage of the low volume, to tank prices. And that is why you need to know these things, to know that all of this is just a speck in the grand scheme of things. And if you just hopped in the live stream, remember, Ethereum, only one other time was ever oversold like this, and that's even more oversold right now than in the past. So keep that in mind. Look at the big term, long-term picture, right? In fact, it's time like this where you could have ignored all of the hype over here and all of the hype over here, and if you just paid attention to crypto when it actually was oversold, when it was actually at a bottom, guess what? You would have made life-changing returns. If we look at to the previous cycle, right, 2,300% on Ethereum, and I'm expecting, quite similar percentages for the next Ethereum bull run, right? So let's say we go down to potentially $500, right, around this $1,000 to $500 bottom area. Well, guess what, right? If we see a move similar to what we saw back here, that's going to bring us to potentially $15,000, $20,000, or $25,000 for Ethereum. And that is why you should still be optimistic on crypto long term. We have a writer thanking me for the analysis of quant. No problem. That's what I'm here for. I didn't want to not be present with all of you who've supported me so much, and I really appreciate that. So that is why I wanted to be here with you in the trenches, sort of, during this crypto pullback. This is obviously something that is short term, and yes, it may take a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months, but overall, right, as soon as we see the bullishness coming back in, and that will be when the Fed is forced to turn back on the money printers, at that point, right, crypto is going to fly to levels we've never seen before. I truly do believe that. And that is why I am not going anywhere, right? No matter how low we sink on crypto, I'm going to be here covering crypto, hopefully daily if I can, with some of these live streams. Hopefully you like this new edition of what I'm doing. And actually, please let me know down in the comment section below if you're enjoying this. I want to see your support. Let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're doing in this bear market. If you're buying, if you're selling, I want to know. So let me know in the comments down below. We got Chainlink that's requested for an analysis, and also Hex and Pulse Chain. I'll talk about that in just a second. Chainlink is very interesting. I appreciate that recommendation, Lawrence. And the reason why I think Chainlink is an interesting coin to analyze here is because I've actually been looking at Chainlink myself. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be buying Chainlink just yet. But I do think that it has much of the recipe for a prime coin to buy during a bear market like this. And I'll give you a couple of reasons. For one, it's down substantially, right? Almost 90%. I also want to point out that Chainlink has typically been a very strong coin in all market conditions, right? I want you to look at it back here around July 2021. It actually did much better than a lot of coins. Also here in November 2020. And overall, right, it's been a fairly steady chart for a cryptocurrency. Terrific uptrend and bull run, right, up until May 2021, and then it started experiencing some resistance and some downside after hitting $50, right? So this is a pretty typical level where you could expect the coin to pull back. It's been pulling back 6 cents, and guess what? Now we're all the way down to $5.86. Let's go back in time. Please keep in mind, think about how much DeFi has grown compared to these levels back here, and the prices of $5 have not been seen since July of 2020. I'll go ahead and check out DeFi Llama here. We're going to look at, the TVL total value locked 73.8 billion. This is a very sharp drop compared to the peak of the bull market for these chains, right? Ethereum, BSC, many chains out there. But I wanted to go ahead and point out that let's see where we were back in July of 2020. Well, guess what? 2.6 $2 billion. Let's go back to the chart here for Chainlink, where we're at $5, right? Now, going back to the DeFi Llama chart, do you see what I'm trying to point out here? We were literally at less than 30 times where we're at now in terms of total value locked, and yet the price is back where it's at. That does not make any sense. This is obviously manipulation and, you know, tactical selling by whales to load up at lower prices. Could we go lower in terms of TVL? Yes, of course. We could go down to 50 billion. Who knows? But we're not going to be going down to 10 billion. I can guarantee you that. And I think that that's what I'm seeing personally. Just my own opinion, not financial advice. Anything can happen, but I don't see crypto TVL going below $10 billion. Maybe it'll go down to 20 billion, 30 billion. It's not really relevant because, like I said, right, the odds that we go back to $2.6 billion in TVL is very unlikely, in my opinion. That would basically be the end of crypto. And for that reason, you got to put things in perspective, right? These charts of the price are going to be the things that are the most reactive in these type of environments, right? What I mean by that is they're going to react very quickly and very sharply to any news, right? So if there's drama in DeFi, for example, Terra Luna, Anchor Protocol blowing up, then anything related to that, right, and cryptos in general are going to take the first hits on that. And that's exactly what we saw, right? That's why we're seeing all these coins drop right now, is because it's a ripple effect, folks. And that's what you need to keep in mind. So also we had a message asking about Hex and Pulse Chain. I haven't looked at Hex in forever. I've never actually owned Hex. I do know about it. At this point, I know most of the coins out there, but Hex is a coin that a lot of people were bullish on towards the end of the bull market. Unfortunately, it just did not manage to hold up. It was really trying to here. I will give it credit. It was really trying to around that 10-cent level, and now it's back at these lower levels. I don't expect that much to go on with Hex for a while. I think this could sink even as low as probably a full cent, unfortunately. Just because this is the type of coin that is not going to have many eyes on it in a bear market. However, one exception to that is the Pulse Chain. I'm aware of that. I had actually participated in the, I guess, phase where you can get some of those coins, and I haven't heard much about it. I'm not sure when that's coming out exactly, so I can't talk too much about that, unfortunately. Welcome everybody to the live stream. I am here with you during this market drop, and please let me know anything you want, any questions you want me to analyze your coins. This is what these live streams are for, so go ahead and let me know. If you want me to make sure to see your comment and make sure to analyze a coin, go ahead and send me a super chat, and I will make sure to not miss out on that. I did know that there was someone who mentioned the Gods token, Gods Unchained. I believe this is a metaverse coin. We've seen these metaverse tokens get hit pretty hard. I do think that these are going to come flying right back up in the next previous bull market. I don't know that much fundamentally about this project. I have heard it before, but as far as I can see, right, this has kind of already hit its peak bottom, down 95%. This is something that I kind of expect would bounce between 30 cents and 50 cents for a few months until we start to see some optimism again. And I will keep in mind that this type of coin, right, these smaller altcoins, metaverse coins, $16 million market cap, these are going to typically be coins that start pumping later in the bull market, right? We're going to see Bitcoin, Ethereum pump first, and then very quickly thereafter, we'll see the more medium range coins, top 50, top 100 starting to pump. And then as we go down into that bull market, or up, I should say, in that bull market, we'll see those smaller coins also start to skyrocket. That is typically the pattern that we see in this type of event. And I love analyzing these coins for you. Hopefully you guys find this helpful. In terms of Chainlink, right, we can see maybe peak bottom of $3.50 based on this chart right here. I'll go back to Ethereum. I keep forgetting to complete that analysis. But basically, right, if we look at where we have, a next bit of somewhat of support, I had drawn out on one of my previous charts here. I don't even remember which one it was. That $850. I remember $850 having a decent amount of support for some reason, but I'm not seeing it here. That might have been on a daily chart. Actually, I need to get back to that. But yes, right now, you know, there isn't that much support. There we go. That is the $850 level. That corresponds to the head and shoulders pattern, actually, that we had over here. And that 850 level is the two tops right around here, right? 3 tops right around that level. So that is the $850 level. However, that doesn't actually mean this is going to be major support. It is support, and you can see we actually almost bounced a little bit off that. But if we look at this candlestick right here, which was a very big, sharp candlestick, you know, we still have this little area here. Unfortunately, this is really the unfortunate thing with Ethereum's chart setup, is this area right here, right? From around $350 to that $850 level, there just isn't that much support, right? Because after that $850 level, we're all the way practically back down to $350 before major support. We'll of course have support at that $500 psychological level, but as you can see, that'll have already brought us substantially lower in that range, you know, down 40% to $500 and around 56% down to $350. So that is what is I can see on the Ethereum chart right now. I wanted to thank Phil for the $10 donation, thanking me for the content. I really appreciate the support. And I just want to thank everybody who's been following me since whenever, right? If you were following me back during the initial bull market, or even during the crypto winter back here, or on this bull market, or well, it might be the next crypto winter. I really appreciate the support, and I will be here as one of the top cryptocurrency YouTubers who's never run away in bear markets like many others have. I will be there analyzing cryptos, stocks, whatever I need to do to provide you with the best content and analysis out there. Now, I want to also point out, right, keep in mind how long these bear markets can last. This is potentially a good thing, potentially a bad thing. I am quite impatient, so I never like these multi-months, if not 1 to 2 year drawn out, you know, experiences. But the positive thing is that it also provides for an opportunity to get in on these cryptos at good prices and not making you rush into buying a dip, right? For example, if we look back at this event right here, right, where we spiked up really high and then we got this dip, if you were able to buy here, you would have felt amazing, right? You would have bought in at $1,900. You would have been pretty happy because you got a massive pump after that and, you know, made 150% till the peak high. But keep in mind, this is just a dip, right? That's all this was. This wasn't actually a bottom. This was maybe a temporary short-term bottom in this period, but it was not actually a bottom. This was just a dip, and yes, you would have bought the dip. If you would have sold at the top, you would have done great. But keep in mind, right, maybe you were buying here for the long term, and if you're awake today, well, guess what? You would have been down 50% and thinking that you didn't do so good of a buy after all. So you need to keep things into perspective, and in these type of bullish markets, it's much more hard to stay level-headed and really know what you're trading or where you're getting into it. However, on the plus side, right, when we're in these bottom periods, and we know that, you know, whether you're buying on the lower levels of the bottom at $100 Ethereum or at the higher levels around 350 or anywhere in between, right, you know that you're still purchasing Ethereum in the bottom ranges, right? And what that means is you can't feel too bad about yourself because you got in this bottom area. And I think that's going to be very similar to what we see this time around. I'll actually go ahead and kind of draw out the bottom level. I'll even draw it out a little bit bigger, right? Because I think we're already basically in it. Any price below $1,000 really, but specifically here between $850 to $350, this is going to be more or less, give or take, right, the bottom for Ethereum on this cycle. And I think this could last several weeks, if not several months. But when we get this consolidation in this level, I want you to remember this chart and keep in mind what I said, where it doesn't matter if you got it at the peak of the bottom or mid, high, whatever it is, right? As long as it's in this range, when the next cycle comes around and we break past the previous high, right, which is already going to be, like I said, 1,100% increase. If we go to 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, which I think is absolutely possible on the next bull market, then you'll have been in a golden position, right? So I want to remember the opportunity that crypto gives us and the hope that it gives us. I want to welcome and say hi to Brandon. Been following me since 2017. That's amazing. He says that I'm one of the best in the space. I really appreciate that. You know, I am not always accurate 100% with my calls. I tend to call tops a little bit early and call bottoms a little bit early as well. But that is just because I am glued to these charts all the time, right? I'm constantly looking at these charts day and night. If it's midnight, 3 a.m., I'm taking a look at these charts, preparing my next moves, preparing my next investments, and preparing my next videos and analysis for you guys. So that is, you know, what I'm here for. And big thank you and welcome to everybody who has joined us right now. I've already taken a look at Bitcoin earlier in the stream. I've taken a look at Ethereum. I've covered several altcoins that some of the viewers here wanted me to take a look into. And if you want me to take a look at some of your coins, then go ahead and let me know in the chat down below. If you want me to guaranteed see your comment and analyze a specific coin, then please drop a super chat. I really appreciate the support that all of you give me. In the meantime, right, let's go ahead and just take a look at the overall cryptocurrency market cap rankings right now. Take a look at what's going on. So we've got several things happening here. First off, the global cryptocurrency market cap has now fallen below $1 trillion, right? It's currently at $862 billion, which is fairly low, right? This could go lower. I think this could go easily to $500 billion. But we do expect cryptocurrency market cap as a whole to grow to probably well over $10 trillion market cap in the next 5 to 10 years. And that will literally only put us to around gold's market cap, as funny as that sounds, right? And yes, there are so many bad cryptocurrencies out there, you know, altcoins that have no value. But keep in mind, there are also many networks that are building a terrific amount of value. I appreciate Bitcoin for all that it is and its store of value, how easy it is to transact and use. I have now been kind of using it like literally cash in the crypto space, but there are many other coins out there that have really been building a lot of value. Ethereum this year has really showed its value with things like ENS domain names, which I'll go ahead and talk about. But, you know, we have many other networks as well. Solana, unfortunately, very disappointed in all those, outages, but it has built a substantial amount of value. Things like BNB, Tron right now. This is a very controversial one with USDT. I can talk about that. Avalanche, tremendous value there as well. So there's actually real value being built in this space. Anyone who says otherwise is, just blind to all the developments that are happening. USDT, this is Tron's stablecoin. It has been teetering on the edge of a cliff. You can see the peak low here around 96 cents. We're kind of back towards that. Could we break lower? It is possible. I know that Justin Sun, who is the founder of Tron, is deploying massive amounts of capital to save this coin. I have a feeling that this coin is not going to depeg much further than this. I do feel like it's going to survive, but I will be very careful saying that because it is an algorithmic stablecoin after all. And we've seen what happened with UST. I wouldn't be specifically holding this coin for any reason right now. I will say that, but I don't think it's going to actually manage, imploding and dying out. That's personally what I think. Now, in terms of other stable coins, there's some fear about USDT. I'm not too worried about that. Personally, I'm sticking right now, if I can, to more of the safest stable coins in the space, which I consider USD coin and BUSD. If I have to use USDT, I'm not too scared to hold some of that, but I'd rather not hold it for long terms right now. So just if I have to, if I'm trading or whatnot, that's when I'm going to be using USDT. And that is sort of just important to be safe right now, because we're seeing a lot of projects and protocols implode overnight. This is also a ripple effect from the UST drama that happened and the blow up of the UST stablecoin. DAI, however, has been very impressive, right? Still holding very steadily at $1 price point, holding peg completely. And just in case any of you don't know this, DAI is actually a decentralized coin from the MakerDAO, and Maker does have a token which has been dropping. However, it's had a very steady price floor in the past. I might be consider picking some of this up when it reaches this floor. It literally was not even moving pretty much in this entire period, and that was actually a very good sign, because yes, it did get the pump, we did fall back down, but this has a very strict floor here around this $500 level, which we're heading to now. I do think, unfortunately, we're going to hit that level, but long term, this could be a really interesting play. Maker protocol is one of the better DAOs out there from what I can see, and I think it might be one of the only algorithmic stable coins or decentralized stable coins to really stand the test of time, and it already has for now, right? In fact, since its launch, the DAI stablecoin has almost never lost peg, and this is a stablecoin that's been around for a while in the cryptocurrency space. Just initially when it first launched, and this is pretty typical to have fluctuations within maybe the first 3 months of a stablecoin launching. That's what happened with DAI, but as you can see, ever since, it's literally been getting more steady over time. And I do feel like that's actually exactly what's happening to USDD, which is why I'm quite bullish on the Tron token right now, which has actually been holding up decently well during the bear market. And keep in mind, this is still during the initial phases of the launch of a stablecoin. They're making sure there's enough liquidity supporting the stablecoin, and that the peg is being held. So right now, these might just be growing pains. I wouldn't call this an absolute failure or collapse of the stablecoin just yet, but obviously, please be careful. None of this is financial advice. I am going to answer a few questions here. Also, thank you to Brandon, who's also a member in my trading course. He is referring to, if you don't know, my technical analysis trading course, my master course, which is the ultimate guide to technical analysis for stock trading, cryptocurrencies, and Forex trading. Everything about technical analysis trading is covered, from risk management principles to chart setups, trading strategies, charting platforms, candlesticks, everything. The list goes on and on. So make sure to check that out. Link in the description of this video, actually. I also want to give a shout out to bit.com, my favorite exchange right now. They have cryptocurrency options. These can be used to hedge yourself both to the upside and downside, but in a bear market like this, potentially want to consider some of these puts where you can hedge yourself by having puts in case the price goes down on Bitcoin or Ethereum. They also have Bitcoin Cash, so definitely check them out as well. Link in the description of this video. And I wanted to also answer a question that I saw on the chat here, which is, did I do any shorts on this move to the downside? Have I shorted this? Have I made money shorting this? The true answer is probably yes or no. When I'm trading this, I am going in and out very often. I might take some trades where I make wins, some trades where I make losses. So I could be around break even right now. I did short overnight, however, the drop on Bitcoin, right? I entered it right when I saw the break of 20,000. I actually caught it a little bit late. I believe I entered maybe around 19,700, and I shorted it down this morning down to around 18K flat. I just knew that as soon as we lost 20K, we're going to see more downside, right? I wasn't expecting any type of bounce above 20,000. I still don't think we're going to see a bounce above 20,000. Now, we are bouncing a little bit right now, which is something that's expected. I love to see that, actually. But, unfortunately, this is going to be more of a situation where I'm sorry if anybody here hates me for saying this, but I think this is an opportunity to get in on a short if we come back to these higher levels, potentially around 19,500, or if we end up making an attempt at 20,000. I think this is just going to be one big short right back down to these lower levels. And I don't say that just to be negative, but this is the reality of the situation. This is an opportunity to make money, and I'm not just going to ignore that, because right now we see where the flow is. I don't want to just get wrecked like everybody else. I want to, if I can, increase my Bitcoin stack by potentially taking strategic shorts on the downside. That is something that can be done, and obviously if you are considering doing that, please be very careful, right? Leverage trading is very risky. You can lose just as easily as you win, so you really do have to be experienced in take at the right levels, but that's why I'm kind of waiting to see here if we get a bounce. I do believe I have a long open right now, and I'll be closing that out pretty soon, where you know, at that point I'll reconsider potentially shorting for a move back below, right? Right now what happened is we already got a drop that was pretty substantial. So if we draw it out from the $20,000, we got right around a 12% drop for Bitcoin. We're now seeing a bit of a partial recovery. Like I said, this could literally be right now as we speak about as high as we'll go. We could peak out a little bit more, you know, potentially down to up to 19,500, potentially 20,000. I could even see us potentially making a little attempt a little bit above 20,000, but that would be very unlikely. And any pump like this is going to be shorted heavily in this type of market environment, right? There are many sharks out there that are eyeing this like a hawk at any opportunity to load up their shorts right again. And that is, you know, the reality of what could be happening right now. If we go ahead and pull out the Ethereum price chart, right? No different here. We're seeing a bit of a bounce, and that is because you know, we're getting a little bit of a relief after falling so sharply. But like I said, this is a very nice bounce. I will give it that. We've got a nice typical double bottom formation here with a little wick. It's a great pattern to trade for a little bounce. But like I said, right, little bounce, probably going to go up here till maybe 1,015 at the most, I think. In an absolute move higher relief rally, we could go up to 1,050, but not higher than that. And like I said, I think very quickly, potentially even right now, at these levels, people will just be loading the shorts to play this more to the downside, down to $800, $700, $600, because like I said, I don't see this drop happening anytime soon. If you've been watching the stream, you know that there's so little support in this area from you know, about $1,000 all the way down to $350. There's very little support except one around $500, and that is why people are going to be taking advantage of this to really make a lot of money, right? Ultimately shorting this. Anybody who has leveraged longs, such as I believe Celsius, which is now blowing up, is, you know, has a liquidation price of $600 million for their leverage positions at 14,000 Bitcoin price, and that means that they're going to be liquidated around there. That's going to be over hundreds of millions of dollars sold Bitcoin. I believe 23,000 Bitcoin total. That's going to cause immense selling pressure on the price. As for the Celsius network, I don't know all the details of what happened, but right now, right, I am not going near this. I'm seeing this as a bit of a Luna 2.0 as of right now. And that is why you really need to trust the platforms that you're trading with or participating in. And that is why I love to mention bit.com, because they are so reliable. I haven't experienced any outages or anything at all, no hiccups during this entire market. You know, and there's huge amounts of trading going on. There's huge amounts of volatility, yet they have held up perfectly. So big shout out to bit.com and all the options they have: futures trading, options trading, spot trading, everything you need. So make sure to check them out. Link in the description of this video. And if we hit 50 people, this I believe is a peak on the stream. Welcome to my first ever Bitcoin live stream. I am analyzing the charts of many cryptocurrencies out there, and I'm asking everyone to please let me know any coins they'd like me to analyze. I'll take a look at anything normally. Just let me know in the comments down below. And also, you know, if you want me to make sure to see your chat, go ahead and support the channel by dropping a super chat. Now, also, I wanted to ask you all, are you buying this dip? Are you shorting this dip? Are you just holding and not taking any type of other secondary positions? Let me know right now in the chat. I want to see your actions and what you guys are planning. It'll help me get a better read on what the average investor might be considering. I'm sure there's many of you who are more advanced as well. But let me know, right? Let me know if you're new to crypto, when you got in, and what you're planning on doing right now. If you are selling or buying, whatever the case may be, right? Me personally, I haven't bought much. I did buy, like I say today, Uniswap, ENS, and SushiSwap. These are very big decentralized exchange or very big DeFi protocols on Ethereum ERC20 tokens. ENS, I made a video review of ENS, its actual platform. Wow, it's actually, I can't believe it, it's actually pumping right now a little bit. Good thing I bought it this morning. I didn't even see that it pumped. I mean, I don't necessarily expect this pump to really last. These can be coins that are targeted for pumps during these downside moves or just relief rallies. So I'm not getting too excited here. You know, actually, it's ideal for me if this coin can stay low so that I can load up more. But it is a great project, right? Amazing project, amazing protocol, something that I feel is truly decentralized. And if we look, right, it's also kind of hit a floor here right around a 90% drop total. I think this coin is going to go right back up to $50 plus, really hitting $100 probably, if not more, on the next bull run. And I expect this coin to be very steady as well. If you ask me why, it's because there's a real business model behind this coin, a real use case, a utility. It allows you to have .eth addresses, right? You might have seen me purchase my therighttrader.eth address domain name a few weeks back when I did a review of how to use and how to register ENS domain names. I actually do own quite a bit of ENS domain names because I think they're the future, right? So I'm also looking at that and as an investment potential, but I also wanted to buy the governance token to support the protocol and this great project as well. I think this is going to be a coin that's added to many DeFi funds in the future, right? You need to keep in mind that some of the better DeFi coins, while they took massive hits right now, long-term fund managers will add them to ETFs and funds for exposure to the DeFi space, the altcoin space, and that is already happening in different markets. I know Germany added an ETN for Uniswap. We're seeing things like this start to happen, and we're going to see that happen more in the coming years. So that is very beneficial to these type of coins. There's ETFs or trusts like Grayscale that add these coins as well. I don't know if they've added ENS specifically. I haven't seen anything about that, but I know they have different, you know, altcoins that may be in the space that they find they need exposure to for their funds. And keep in mind that there are massive hedge funds blowing up, like Three Arrows Capital, one of the biggest funds in the space, right? No one ever saw this coming. They blew up overnight, right? They literally, I believe they were sending something like a few $50-$100 at a time to try and cover some of their last margin. You know, they're basically wrecked. They're completely wrecked. They're trading with $50 to $100. It's almost a bit comical, but it is sad because this affects all of us, right? These type of over-leveraged entities and funds blow up financial spaces because of greed a lot of the time, right? So I don't know specifically what happened to Three Arrows Capital. Not going to make any claims on that, but we do know that, you know, heavy losses have been incurred from Three Arrows Capital due to Luna and other things as well. But if we look at, you know, some of these coins now that have been held by some of these funds that are potentially imploding by the day, getting liquidated, well, guess what? It's allowing us to get these coins at massive discount valuations, right? We're literally able to get Uniswap back at its launch levels in September 2020. Uniswap trades enormous amount of volumes, and the volume it trades has almost not even gone down during this bear market. I want you to remember that and really think about what I said. Its volume has barely even gone down during this bear market. And yes, I do hold this coin, so maybe there's a bit of bias speaking, but I mean, I don't think so personally, because just look at the chart of the volume on Uniswap that's being traded, right? It's so impressive. It is a true, you know, utility, and it's being used right now, as you can see, even in the bear market, right? It is the main decentralized exchange in the world. If that's something you don't want to own, I could not see a good reason why someone would think that, but I'm not going to miss out on that opportunity, right? I want to run this back up to the highs, and this is a coin that, to be honest, I would feel comfortable holding forever, right? I don't think Uniswap is ever going to be dethroned. Who knows what's going to happen in the next coming years and decades, but I really think Uniswap will remain maybe forever, right? At least on Ethereum, the biggest decentralized exchange. And this is very similar kind of thinking for SushiSwap. Now, SushiSwap, I do believe that Three Arrows Capital had to unload massive amounts of SushiSwap and a few other funds as well. So I do know that SushiSwap is, you know, really getting hit hard here, but that doesn't mean that anything fundamentally changed with SushiSwap either. I could see SushiSwap, however, coming back down to 50 cents. So I did buy some of this here, but I do think we could be going back down to 50 cents. That's not a problem for me. I'm going to be holding these two for the long term. SushiSwap does actually return some of the fees that are earned on the platform back to the stakers. So that is a benefit of staking SushiSwap as well. Especially at these levels, you're getting, you know, very high yields and potential future yields if we get back to the higher levels as well, right? Do want to mention that right now we're literally below $1. Our all-time high was at $23. That's literally over 23x back to the all-time high, right? Put in $1,000, that could be a $23,000 game. I am going to be taking that bet. That's just me personally. That's not financial advice, but I'm just kind of running you through my thinking here. So those are some of the altcoins that I like. I haven't been even touching altcoins that much, actually. If anything, I've sold some of the altcoins on this drop. Some of the weaker ones that I have that I just didn't see much potential in anymore, that I didn't want to be holding in this type of market environment, right? Even Ethereum, I am probably going to be loading Ethereum only if we see around $500 price levels, right? I have no interest in really buying Ethereum here at $900. Long term, it's still going to be an amazing price at discount rate, but I think that we're going to fall pretty substantially lower from this here, so I don't want to get in when there's still potentially so much downside ahead. $500 drop, that's going to be a lot, right? I'd rather just wait it to fully bottom. Some of these altcoins, even if they drop more, I'm going to be accumulating on the way down because I do think they've already reached some pretty low levels. Bitcoin, you know, this really depends on your own opinion on Bitcoin. Some people say that it's always a good time to buy Bitcoin, right? And there is a, you know, thesis on that, depending on how you look at it. If you really think that it's fully decentralized form of transaction store value, I do see, you know, most of that thesis. So I will be at the right times, right? If I have liquid capital looking to load Bitcoin, I probably love getting some around here, 15,000, 12,000. I think those are all pretty good prices, even if we go lower down to $9,000. However, I'll try to remain a little bit patient. It's hard to not buy when you see such low levels, but I think that due to the fact that we could be seeing, you know, 12, 10, $9,000, those are going to be amazing buy points where your dollar is going to get you that much further. So I'll be holding off a little bit longer, I think. Kind of iron handsing and holding on to that dirty fiat till that price comes down to me for Bitcoin, where at that point I'm going to be able to own a pretty substantial amount of it. I also want to point out that for those who don't know, right, Bitcoin only a finite amount of 21 million coins. And if you own even 0.28 or 0.27, I don't remember exactly, but 0.28 or 0.27, right? You are literally guaranteed to be in the top 1% of holders forever. Why is that? Because we have the finite supply of $21 million. So you don't even need to own a full Bitcoin to be part of the 1%, right? You basically only need, you know, just a tad bit more than a quarter Bitcoin, and you're already there. For example, if we reach $10,000 Bitcoin, $2,700, $2,700 would get you that top 1% spot is a Bitcoin holder forever. And I want you to look back in time, right? Look back at the highs. Think about if you were in that top 1%, that's already several thousands of dollars. I'll let you only imagine, right? If you reach $1 million in Bitcoin, you own around 0.27, 0.28. That's going to be right above $250,000 in Bitcoin. So let alone if we reach that $10,000 price point, you can get that for around 2,500 bucks and potentially hold that really long term the next decade up to $1 million Bitcoin. You know, that's going to be a 100x, and that's not even being you know, extreme, right? That's going to not even be that high of a market cap for Bitcoin, few trillion dollars. So keep focused on the long term in times like this. Really, really important. Now, I saw some interesting comments here. We've had Cardano request for analysis. I'll be definitely taking a look at that. We also have Cody is right saying that he's not buying this dip. He might in another couple weeks. To be honest, I am probably in that basket as well, right? I know that there are a lot of people rushing to buy this, and I don't think that's the right move. So for that reason, I'm going to be holding off a little bit longer here. As hard as it is and as tempting it is with the current prices, I just got a notification on my phone that the price has decreased quickly. So like I said, people are probably going to start shorting this back down right now as we speak. I'll go a little bit. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. And guess what? What did I say? If you've been in the live stream, I called it here live. Excuse this absolutely horrific messy chart. Really sorry about that. Let's go ahead and clear the drawings. But like I said, if you were here probably right around 10-15 minutes ago, I said that we were probably going to get shorted right back down. And look at what happened. We hit this orange line, which is the 50 moving average, and we fell right back down. This is a great shorting opportunity, right? Anybody who shorted here is probably going to make a lot of money going right back down, especially if they're using a little bit of leverage. You know, that's a lot of downside in a very short amount of time that we can even break through more. I think we're going to go down $850 by the end of this weekend, minimum on Ethereum. $850 minimum on Bitcoin this weekend. I'm telling you right now. Could we go down to 700? Absolutely. Absolutely, we could see this this weekend. And I want to mention to everybody here that on the weekend between June 30th to July 5th, we have another 3-day weekend, which who knows, maybe that'll be an opportunity where the big whales cause the stock market, cause cryptos to pump, or we could potentially, you know, go down to 15,000 before then and then sink down to 9,000 on that weekend. That's going to be a very dangerous weekend. So just please be careful and keep that date in mind. That's June 30th to July 5th. That's another 3-day weekend. That's another opportunity for whales to trap, longs and liquidate them, right? And they're probably going to be targeting even bigger entities such as Celsius and Sailor during a weekend like that, when we're already going to have potential downside to 16, 15, 14, 13K, and then they can only sink it a little bit more to go down to $9,000. Very, very dangerous stuff. And of course, I'm talking about Bitcoin there. Let's go ahead and just look at this live chart of Ethereum while I look at some of these comments. Please bear with me. This is my first live stream ever, but hopefully you're finding it useful. I really want to be here helping you keep level-headed, hopefully, during this market and not let the fear get the best of you, right? That's why I'm here with all of you, supporting you during this drop. Not hiding away like everybody else does on YouTube during the bear markets. I have even been saying that there was a very big likelihood of the drop below 20,000. In fact, if I can remember which chart this was on, I drew a whole analysis of this on one of these charts here where I posted it on Twitter, and I drew out all the levels with the prediction down to the lower price points, and that is what we're seeing now, unfortunately. Bitcoin now at $19,200, facing heavy resistance at the 50 moving average, which is what I had said was going to happen, that this pump, you're not going to get, I'm really sorry to be harsh here, but you're just not going to get a 10% pump in a moment like that where we're seeing peak liquidation fear like we're seeing this weekend. That's going to last, right? This is not going to last whatsoever. This is going to sink right back down, and you're going to see that I'm right probably within the next few hours, if not shorter than that. And that is just the reality of what's happening when people know there's liquidations to be made. They know that the fear is there. They're going to take advantage of that and short that as much as possible. And plus, that was also previous resistance here due to this level right here being the kind of the top of the little bounce we had back here. What price did I tell you in the live stream? Write it down. Write it down. If you remember, I said Bitcoin is probably going to peak out at 19,500. Guess where we peaked out? 19,500 exactly. That had not happened when I made the call. You can see right up here on TradingView the high. Look at that candle, 19,500 flat. I said people were going to jump into shorts to short it back down. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Don't forget, I will remember Cardano. Also, Cody asking for Zilliqa. Zilliqa was a coin that had a lot of potential in the bull market. It was just starting to launch its metaverse, I believe. And it unfortunately got victim of bad timing with the rest of the market crumbling, which unfortunately made it kind of, I don't want to say look bad, it's just that it prevented it from being able to pump any further, right? It kind of stopped it in its tracks due to how much the market was dropping. Cardano, we actually have Brandon saying that Cardano is about to be a great short. Now let's take a look, see if he may be right. And keep in mind, nothing I mentioned in this live stream is financial advice. Please be safe. Please do your own research. These are very volatile times where, you know, if you're not sure of what you're doing, the best thing is to probably do nothing, because this is when you make mistakes, right? In rushed, panicked times, when everything is moving up and down at extreme speeds, that's when you tend to make mistakes that can cost you substantially. Big thank you to anybody still watching the stream. Hopefully you're loving it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and go ahead and give me a super chat if I've been helpful in the past or right now. And if you want me to analyze a specific coin or just tell me anything, go ahead and chat or a super sticker. Now, in terms of the current chart here for Cardano, lot of consolidation. I wasn't actually aware of just how much consolidation we had around the 50-cent range. But like I said earlier in the video, right, we have a pretty typical pattern here of initial drop, right, followed by the period of consolidation, and now another bit of drop. And right now, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, but you know, we have a lot of resistance put in at this level. It's going to be very hard to even get above 46 cents at this point for Cardano, to be quite honest. Absolute most around 48 cents. I don't see us going back above 50 cents anytime soon right now until we reach the peak bottom. And unfortunately, if we go ahead and draw out the trend line, right, of this previous drop, and we go ahead and mimic this exact trend line, we'll go ahead and literally bring it around the level that we're at now. Let's see how low that brings us. This is a very rough approximation, but you can see that we can be at least going down to 25 cents if we're seeing a similar move to what we saw back here, which I think is absolutely possible, kind of a repeat. And that's going to be, you know, let's see, about 30% there, and probably around same here. Yeah, about 40% here. So very, very possible for something like Cardano, probably maybe 20-cent bottom, something like that. It depends, right? I'm not the most bullish on Cardano. I know they are working hard on making it something great, but there's still a lot of time that needs to go by to truly, you know, turn it into what it has to become. We'll go ahead and take a look at Zilliqa right now. Zilliqa is a smaller coin, actually. I'll go ahead and pull it up on CoinGecko for anybody who doesn't know this coin. And this is, as you can see, smaller market cap coin, right around $500 million in market cap. Very sharp spikes, but unfortunately these haven't been holding. And right now we're kind of heading back towards this target range of some very low price levels. Unfortunately, we're at 3 cents right now. I'm expecting this to go at least down to a cent. We should get a lot of support at 2 cents, but I think ultimately on this bear market, we could go down to a cent. The market is not going to be nice to any smaller coins, right? Especially if they're not any blue chip type of altcoins. These things are going to get hit really hard. I will say one thing though for Zilliqa, very nice bounce both here and back here as well, and we are still actually in a bit of a range, right? That's a little bit different from Cardano, which is now breaking below its range. This is still actually in large part in its range, right? And just an approximation of what range I'm talking about here, let's call it between 3 cents and 3.5 cents. This could last longer, could break below it, go down to 2 or 1 cents, but right now, good range between 3 and 5 cents, 3.5 cents. So actually pretty decent strength here for Zilliqa in this bearish market where altcoins have already been hit a lot and you know, could continue, of course, especially if they're weaker and smaller. We have a another person asking about play to earn games, my thoughts on them. He's referring to cryptos, metaverse cryptos such as Axie or Illuvium. I am aware of both of those coins, of course. Let's see, Axie. Did he write the ticker right in the chat? I'm not sure. I'm thinking of Axie Infinity, but Illuvium for sure. That is what he's talking about. This is, I believe, yeah, it is an ERC20 metaverse token that is building a metaverse play turn type thing. Actually not doing too bad. We have steady downside, but I like the fact that it doesn't have any crazy spikes. That is kind of nice to look at for once, a chart that isn't having these ridiculous pump and dumps, right? There was a few of those on Zilliqa that I saw, and that means that it's not being manipulated as much. Granted, people are selling this consistently and shorting this, but at least it's not being too manipulated right now with pump and dumps. So where is this going to bottom? It's hard to say, but you know, the actual bottom historically is going to be around this $100 to $50 level. That could still mean a little bit more downside for Illuvium, unfortunately. Not a huge amount of downside, but still a bit. I think that these metaverse coins really need to bottom out hard. I think some of these will be amazing buying opportunities long term, but you do need to be careful because until then, they're going to be getting hit quite hard. Gonna just take a second to read your comments. Thank you so much for everybody who's been watching, supporting the stream, commenting on the stream. We have Cody thanking me for reviewing Zilliqa. No problem. That's what I'm here for. Let me know, everybody who's watching, any coins you want me to analyze. I'll be doing this much often. I think you're all loving this, getting a live analysis by the right trader on all your favorite coins. And I'm glad to do it, right? That's what I'm here for. So thank you so much for watching and supporting. And I'm going to keep doing this on this live stream. I'm not done yet. I don't actually even know how long I've been streaming for. And in the future, guess what? I'll be doing these much more often, keeping up with the analysis during the good times and the bad times. Solana, very interesting, right? A lot of people were always talking and preaching about the $30 price point for Solana, and guess what? We're finally here. We finally reached, actually even below this $25. We actually bounced quite a bit from there, and you know, we are now consolidating at $30 flat pretty much. Guess what? We're in a range between $25 and depending on where you take the highs, you know, $30 or $35. I'm going to be nice here, give it a little bit of room, and put in actually around almost $36 here at the top of this range. Guess what this is, right? Some of you might be asking me, is this bullish? Is this bearish? Well, it could be either. What it really is Solana has kind of hit its floor. And you may be thinking, oh, well, that sounds bullish. Well, it could be, right? It could be that Solana, this is the peak of the low of the bear market that we're going to see. And on the next bull market, it's going to fly right back up to 250, 300 bucks. Absolutely possible. But I want you to keep in mind that that really just means that right now, this is the floor, right? Around this 88% drop. It's about as low as Solana can go right now in current conditions. There's no real selling pressure causing it to drop more than that. So anybody who has Solana is probably just holding it right now and hoping that it goes back up higher. That may happen, that may not. But right now, it does seem like it has reached its bottom for the time being. If we do see a drop below $25, I'm going to be expecting a $12 to $15 peak bottom for Solana. I do not think Solana will be going lower than that in this bear market. It does seem like, despite all the negatives about Solana, its outages, this is coming to a bottom for Solana. So no worries on that analysis. Hopefully you found that helpful. Wow, Joey Chaz saying that he lost 40K on Bitcoin. I totally feel you. I have lost huge amounts of money before trading crypto in leverage positions. I know how it feels. The best thing to do is to stop trading, especially if you're not with a level head, and take some time to relax. There's no point in you know, worrying or stressing about it. It is what it is. What happened happened. I have lost money before trading, and you know, you can't go back and reverse the trade. What you can do is be more careful next time and realize what you did wrong, and potentially, right, consider not making those type of trades ever again, right, if it was something that shouldn't have been done in the first place. Please be careful out there. Please protect your mental health in these type of market conditions. And take some time to maybe go outside, not stress too much about it, stay level-headed. It's easy to, you know, be aggressive in buying or shorting or anything in between. But like I said, sometimes the best thing to do is to do nothing, especially if you're not certain on where things are heading. Hopefully that helped a bit. Very sorry about anybody who's lost substantial amounts of money in this market drop. Some things that can help with that is dollar cost averaging, being more slow with your buys instead of buying more in one shot, and obviously not putting in more than you can afford to lose. Nothing I ever say on this channel or in any live stream is financial advice, so please be very careful with what you do. It is your money at the end of the day, and you have the power to make very good decisions and very bad decisions, so please be careful. None of this is financial advice. Now let me keep up with all these comments. We've gotten even more comments here coming up. Thank you so much. Really appreciate all the support. Now let's see what some of these people are saying. Oh, Cody is saying he actually hopes that Zilliqa is going to go to a cent so he can grab some more and stake it long term. I can't say that that's actually going to be the best outcome, but I can say that that is probably the best thing to do based on my previous experience. If there are these coins that you believe in and they've already dropped substantially, potentially from your buy-in price, getting in at lower prices, well, guess what? It's just giving you more of a bigger stack and more of an opportunity to lower your cost basis and make a bigger percentage gain when it goes back up. So I think that is the right mindset for that move. That isn't financial advice, but I definitely would agree with that personally. And I should even be doing more of that myself, right? That is a very good mindset in my opinion. Now, that was a 30-minute chart for Cardano. Can you please check Cardano for a longer time frame, 1 day or 1 week? Sorry about that, Constantine. I didn't notice that I was on that 30-minute chart when I did that analysis. Go ahead and take a look at that for you right now and run that on the daily and weekly time frame. Right now on the daily time frame, we are, like I said, seeing a little bit more of a range actually. So we do actually have good support here at 42 cents. Like I said, this could be a similar situation to Solana, where we may not actually end up breaking lower. Does that mean that we're going to see some type of huge crazy bounce? Not necessarily, right? In fact, what it really means is that Cardano, like many altcoins out there, have really been kind of reaching their peak bottom, or at least their peak bottom for right now, and that they're really going to start becoming very range bound. This is something that can last for weeks or months, and it isn't a bad thing, right? This could really a really good buying opportunity, but be careful because any move back lower is going to sink it to 25 cents probably. Moon River analysis, please. Let me go ahead and do that right now. Let's go check out Moon River. I own a little bit of Moonbeam. That is the Polkadot equivalent of Moon River, but we'll go ahead and take a look at Moon River. Very ugly chart just in terms of how much selling pressure there is, right? There's almost been no bounces during this entire move lower. This is relentless selling. However, the positive is that it does look like we're coming to a bit of a natural bottom. I do think these two projects are actually quite good. Polkadot has not been the talk of the town on this bull market. It really didn't do much of anything, to be quite honest. And these two tokens, which are based on Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems, did actually have a lot of hype initially, and then it just went sinking lower. But I think that these are going to find some nice bottoms and will probably do good on the next bull run. I can't see how Polkadot is not going to do good on the next bull market. It's taking its time in building. We'll probably see some pretty positive developments around the next bull cycle for Polkadot, and I do think Polkadot, Moon River, and Moonbeam, all three of them could actually perform very well in the next bull market. And to be fair, right, if that does happen, which maybe it won't, and maybe, they're just going to die out and nothing will come out of Polkadot, but if we do see things turn positive for that ecosystem, well, just want to point out that if we're at $10 or below and we start moving back towards higher price levels of $50, that'll already be a 5x. At $100, that's a full 10x, and back to the all-time highs, that is a monstrous 5,000% return from current price levels. That's huge, and that would just be back to the all-time highs. So this is, a bit of a, I would call it medium risk but extremely high reward play. So that is all I can mention here as of right now. It's going to take time to really see the developments happen for Moon River and to get it out of what is probably going to be a very long consolidation ahead. So I'm expecting months of nothing for Moon River and Polkadot and Moonbeam, but especially Moonbeam and Moon River. I think they're going to consolidate for a very long time, but I do think they will eventually come back to glory a bit. Oh, nice. Cody is mentioning that the stream has been going on for around 65 minutes. I really appreciate keeping me updated. This is my first stream, so if I'm doing stuff wrong or things aren't perfect, let me know. Also, let me know if the quality of my voice and audio is good. Please let me know right now in the comment sections down below. Super important. We have Janiolis asking if XMR Monero is, let's see, he says that he thinks it has a lot of potential, possible 15x. I'll go ahead and take a look at the chart and tell you what I think about it. We have Naz thanking me for the analysis on Solana, no problem. Sharkon saying that BTC will go down to 12K. I think so as well, Sharkon. And he says that he'll be buying Cardano at 30 cents, right? If there's ever a good time to buy any coin, really, it's going to be during this bear market at the peak of the fear. So very good thinking on that. Matthew, any new thoughts on ETC? Is it a good buy-in or will it go nowhere? Not asking financial advice, just thoughts. I will definitely give you my thoughts on that. And Sharkon saying that everything will go lower, 15K BTC, fully possible. Audio sounds great. Thank you for letting me know, Scott. Really appreciate it. And really appreciate all of you being supportive, helping me know, what's going on with the stream. Thank you so much. And make sure to give me a big thumbs up for this first live stream. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at, what was that coin, that XMR. Let's go and see what's happening with it. I'm glad I think I covered every coin that was asked on this live stream. If there's anything you want to tell me, any support you want to give me, go ahead and give me a super chat, and I will guaranteed see your comment, analyze the coin you want, or if you just want to let me know anything, go ahead and drop a super chat. Let's go ahead and take a look at XMR. XMR Monero. Very interesting coin, a little bit of a dark horse, as I like to call it, right? This is a coin that tends to not always follow what the rest of the crypto market is doing. It actually got quite a bit of hype, very interesting moves in the community as they pulled a bank run on various platforms to withdraw their Monero and lock it into personal wallets, cold storage, etc. Very, very interesting stuff going on with Monero. Really the only privacy coin that I pay attention to, almost one of the only relevant private coins. We've got things like Secret Network, but here we're focusing in on Cardano. Right off the bat, I'm seeing some pretty clear signs here from Monero. Yes, we are falling. We will probably, let's see, we're at $100 flat right now. It's kind of hard to say. Something makes me a bit bullish on Monero, and also looking at the RSI here, we can see that previously when it's oversold, it very quickly bounces back, at least to stabilize, right? Not necessarily to pump higher, but at least to stabilize like we saw back here during the bear market. I think this could be a pretty similar situation. Could we fall a bit lower? Yes, we could. I'm not going to hide that we could go down to probably around 70 cents. However, that's actually not that much more of a drop, about a 30% drop from where we're here. And I do think this is a coin that has not found its range just yet, but is in the process of finding it. And I think this range could be between $70 and $150, maybe even a little bit higher than that, maybe even up to $170. So give or take, right, we're in this pretty big range here for Monero, and I think this is going to continue for a while, right? Any of these coins that are starting to become range bound, especially these altcoins, as they wait for Bitcoin and Ethereum to settle in to their positions and their bottoms, they're going to start consolidating for a long time to come, probably. If the previous bear market is any example, right, that is a 2-year bear market right there. So that is looking back at history to help us, right? History repeats itself, as they say. Could we get a rundown on IOTEX and HNT? HNT, that is Helium, and that is another altcoin that saw quite a bit of hype. Now, this is a very clear loss of trend. So we got the moving averages that all flipped negative to the downside, and then we fully lost our uptrend right here. Now we had, the sharper uptrend that was lost initially, and then that was followed by a loss of the more longer term uptrend. So I don't actually like that at all, that it lost this longer term uptrend. I do know that it is a pretty serious project that's working on a lot of stuff, but right now it has lost the previous uptrend entirely. And at this point, right, actually we're in a steady downtrend as well. For helium, this drop could sharpen in terms of speed down to a full dollar, based on what I'm seeing on the chart. Potentially $2.50, maybe we'll get lucky, only go down to $5. But really, I'd say this is a pretty dangerous chart right now. Could we end up just consolidating in this range right here between, let's call it $5-6 and $13? Yes, we could, right? We could end up exiting this downtrend, not necessarily pumping, but just consolidating more. However, I actually have a bit of a bad feeling about this, that this is a coin that right now with its chart setup is fully in a position to sink lower, literally down to $1. So this looks like a coin that could potentially, fade out into the abyss based on the chart. So I'd be kind of careful with that one. Glad I got to analyze that. Go ahead and take a look at IODEX. Let's see what's going on with this coin. Don't know too much about it. Yeah, this is looking like a coin that, well, first off, quite bearish, quite dangerous position as well. I mean, this is pushing new all-time lows as we speak, it looks like, which who knows how low the bottom could be. And also, relentless selling pressure and also below its previous low. So this is absolutely not the type of stuff that I would be wanting to touch in this bear market. This is the type of coin that could die into the abyss. So very, very careful on both those coins there, HNT or IODEX. I'm glad I analyzed them. Thank you for recommending that, Cody. But unfortunately, I'm very bearish on both those coins based on the charts. I don't know everything that's going on fundamentally with those two projects, to be fair, but the charts are looking a little bit worrisome for both of those. Now, Scott Sheffield, heard anything on the Tether ransom attack? I don't know exactly what that's referring to, so I can't comment on that exactly. If you were here earlier, I mentioned that Tether has experienced a very slight depegging a few times in the last few weeks. That caused a lot of panic about a depeg, but at the end of the day, Tether is actually pretty well collateralized, so I'm not worried about Tether depegging just yet. I will say, however, that we could see a bigger depegging, if not much more panic, if we end up, depegging more than some of the previous depegs we had here, which was, I can't remember during the UST drama how low we went exactly. I don't know if this chart is accurate. I feel like it went down to 96 cents or so. I'd be careful basically if Tether ever goes below 90 cents. I think that would be extremely dangerous for not only Tether, but the crypto market as a whole, right? Tether is sort of a backbone in part of the crypto market. That is true. So the people who have fears about that, I do understand it. I just saw we peaked out at around 59 people just a few seconds ago on the stream. Very happy to see all the people who have been joining. If you've been here since the beginning or just hopped in, welcome. Welcome to the first ever live stream that I've done on this channel. I'm glad it's going so smooth, that the connection, quality, audio, everything is running smoothly. We have someone saying, great stream rate, thank you. Could you look at BTC on the H4? I'm guessing that's the 4-hour chart. Let's go ahead and take a look at that for Bitcoin. I love looking at the 4-hour chart, actually. I'm not sure why he specifically requested the 4-hour chart. Probably someone who's a bit more experienced trader, but yes, the 4-hour chart is very key, gives you a good medium-term perspective of what's happening with Bitcoin. As you can see, actually right here, I've drawn out these levels of, looks disgusting, but let's go ahead and clear this. I'll draw it one more time for those who weren't here. We had this drop followed by consolidation, followed by another drop, right? Typical pattern where drop, people buy in thinking that it's going to bounce. It just consolidates instead of actually bouncing and then falls lower, thereby liquidating a lot of the longs and causing a lot of further selling pressure potentially. Typically then again, consolidating again to either move once again to the downside and continue till it actually finds the bottom, or actually getting a bounce, a correct bounce. So right now, this is very visible on the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin. Very clear consolidation and very clear downtrend patterns. I'm expecting one or two more of these moves. So, you know, some kind of drop, then a consolidation, another drop. I'm expecting one or two more of those in this weekend, and that's why I think we could reach 15K this weekend, potentially even if things get really bearish, we could reach 12K this weekend. I do think maybe the 12 to 9K level of Bitcoin could be for the weekend of June 30th to July 5th, which is the next 3-day weekend. Opportunistic moment where people can't transfer money around to cause a liquidity crisis and tank the market. I will be specifically looking at, you know, even this week, but especially that week to load up on some positions. That is sort of my strategy and game plan going forward. Right now, specifically, seeing a little bit of a bounce on Bitcoin, probably going to see a little bit of consolidation here. Might last like it did here, or it might just be shorter and we start tanking by tonight. Nighttime tends to be a very common time for whales, right? To tank the market. I believe these are also whales from China, because that is when the Chinese and Asian markets are open and active, right? Where people are trading on the Asian markets. That's when it's nighttime in the US, and that is even easier to cause the market to tank, right? If it's an organized attack. Now, helium at $1 would be sweet. I'd love to grab it there. Cody is a notorious buy the dipper, it seems. It will be good by this year, and in 5 years, I can see it being one of the top smart contract platforms. That is Sharkon, I believe, referring to Cardano. Now we have Rishabh Shukla wanting an analysis of Matic. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Also, Sharkon saying that he has a buy set for 12.4K Bitcoin. So really specific level. That is also a level that I'm not being specific on a few $100 in precision, but anywhere from 13K to 9K would be a great buy in my opinion on Bitcoin long term, and I will be trying to do that myself if we're lucky enough to see those price levels. Once again, not financial advice, just my own personal opinion. Matic, I do own a decent amount of Matic actually. Unfortunately, I bought it quite high, probably around maybe $1.50. I don't remember exactly, but I would actually say that I was even buying Matic anywhere between $1 and probably $2.50. I was buying it all in this range here, both at the lower levels and the higher levels. So a lot of accumulation here, and I just really believe in Matic long term. I love Polygon Studios, the team behind it. And I think that, if there's ever a secondary bet on Ethereum or smart contract platform that is doing really good development, it's Polygon Matic. And yes, it has fallen substantially. I haven't sold a single Matic during this drop. I don't plan on selling a single Matic during this drop. I should probably be accumulating at these low prices, and I'm not, which probably is going to be a mistake. But I do think here it looks like back towards this 35-cent range. That was a big consolidation back here. I think this might be somewhat of a bottom for Matic, actually. Just like we saw with charts like Solana, I think this might be coming in on its kind of medium-term bottom here, where we're really just hitting such a hard floor around this 30-cent level that I'm not going to go much lower than that as of right now, unless there's bigger panics or worries in the cryptocurrency market as a whole. Stream just got back up to 50 people. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We're doing a live analysis of the crash, live coverage. I started off with Bitcoin, which we do think is going lower this weekend, down to potentially 15K at least, right? 16K at least. And we could even go down lower than that if the panic worsens. However, there's another 3-day weekend in just about 2 weeks here, a week or two. That is June 30th to July 5th, another 3-day weekend where we could see relentless selling pressure and liquidations. That may be the weekend where Celsius gets liquidated out of hundreds of $millions of Bitcoin, 23K Bitcoin to be exact. I'm talking about a holding of 23,000 Bitcoins that are going to be liquidated. That is huge, folks. Now, let's take a look at what some people are saying here. So we mentioned someone talking about the Flare network. Cody saying he has a tiny bag of Matic with an average buy of 1.66. I'm probably in a pretty similar position with that, right? I think a lot of people caught onto the Matic narrative as it moved higher. And I always thought that Matic was going to be a $20, $25 coin in the next 5 to 10 years. I still absolutely think that it's going to be. So right now it's even a better buy than it was back here. I'm just diversifying my portfolio, and Matic right now is not in the coins that I am trying to accumulate more of. So for that reason, I'm just going to let it be. Hopefully recover that loss one day. But as of right now, I feel pretty safe holding this in the bear market. Mirror Protocol. Now, I don't know everything that happened with Mirror Protocol. I know it's had a bunch of drama. I had bought probably $100 worth of Mirror Protocol at some pretty low prices, and then as the Luna thing happened, I might have thrown in maybe $50. But at this point, right, this is sort of a dying project in the abyss. This is the type of project that may never see the light of day again. Like I said, I really don't know what's going on with if it held up during the Luna stuff, but I think there might be copies of it on other blockchains like Avalanche. I just don't really see any future for Mirror Protocol. I am very bearish on Luna, both Luna Classic and the new Luna. I'm actually more bullish on the Luna Classic than Luna 2.0, but I'm not touching any of those, right? I think those are, deceased coins as of right now, unfortunately. Now, let's see what some people are saying. We have Burhan saying, don't stress, but become a Bitcoin maximalist. Life is so easy like that. I definitely see what you mean. And I will go ahead and say, I've been seeing more Bitcoin maximalists, if that's what you want to call it, than ever before. Why is that? Well, people have seen that a lot of these smart contract proof of stake coins, they, fly high and they come down just as fast. They come crashing down. And yes, right, we are seeing that in part with Bitcoin, but this is still within the normal parabolic move that we've seen with Bitcoin in the long term. However, right, things like I just analyzed, Mirror Protocol, might never see the light of day again. Luna, a lot of these coins will certainly, fade away into the existence of crypto, never really to be that remembered again. And that is, there's so many coins out there now. That's going to happen with many altcoins, many smart contract platforms, even some that were hugely successful like Luna. And that is the reality of, these bear markets that wipe out protocols, that wipe out industries. That is what happens. But things like Bitcoin will stand the test of time, in my opinion. I almost consider it a base commodity at this point, of financial measure. And Ethereum, like I said, I don't like Ethereum's price right now. I think this is a trap for people who are loading this at these price levels. But long term, absolutely, $500. Why not buy a little bit of Ethereum for the long term? I'm more invested in Ethereum actually through things like ENS domains, which I talked about, right? Those .eth domains and different protocols on Ethereum. I use Ethereum more than I'm probably even invested in it. I am invested in it indirectly through either other ERC20 tokens that I'm staking, things like Curve, or ETH domain names, using it for various yield purposes, stuff like that. Now let's keep up with the chat. We have a request for Link again. I already covered Link, Reshab, so you might just want to rewind the video because that was a coin I fully covered. Just to give you real quickly a recap of what I said about Link. I said that it is a blue chip token that has performed very well in the past, very steadily, and that it could actually fall a little bit lower here, but that overall, right, we're reaching some of the bottom levels for Link. Still could fall, though, all the way down to $3, I think I said, on a peak bottom. So I think that could actually very likely happen still. We're not out of the woods for that. Could still see a 50% drop as, guess what? Ethereum sees a 50% drop, right? Possibly some of the altcoins like Uniswap will drop a bit less than Ethereum if they have found bottoms, but if not, right, they're going to fall as much or more than Ethereum. So I said Ethereum is going to 500 bucks, 50% drop. Can expect that from many other ERC20 tokens. And the smaller they are, the less known they are, the less used they are, the more they're going to sink. Let's see. We have a request for VRA. Let's go ahead and take a look at VRA. That's Veracity. This is a coin that is, I was going to say metaverse, but not exactly. This is a coin that is kind of like, what was it? Theta. It's a live streaming based coin. Pretty interesting coin. Saw a lot of support in the community. Right now, I hate this drawing that I have here. Let me just clear that. It's making it very messy to deal with. But basically, right, we're coming back down to the lows. So is there much downside ahead for Veracity? I personally don't think so, right? We could come back down to these lows. This is sub-cents though, but basically, I mean, I don't want to go counting the digits, but you know, we could fall a little bit more in terms of actual percentage. Let me go ahead and try to draw this. You know, we could, I think, fall another 60%. I don't even see how this matters because it's such low levels, right? If we ever bounce back is what I'm trying to say. If we ever bounce back from here, which I do think is absolutely possible, it's going to be some really nice returns. So I could see buying a little bit of this on the dip. Potentially, if you believe in it, I haven't looked that much into it to say, but the risk reward is going to be pretty good on something like this once it bottoms out, which it hasn't just yet. So please be careful. None of this is financial advice. Let's see, we have someone thanking me, wishing many blessings upon me. Another Christian here. Really appreciate the comment, throwing in some scripture. All praise be to Jesus, everyone. I really pray every day, especially in hard times like this, and hopefully you are all safe as well. Really appreciate that comment. Now, in terms of, someone is asking me which cryptos am I buying right now. I did say I'm buying Uniswap, SushiSwap, and ENS. I'm not going to put a lot of money in that. That's just some play money because they're at good price levels and great long-term opportunities. I am still waiting to put more serious amounts of money again in crypto. I've lost money just like everyone else on this most recent drop, and I'm going to be waiting patiently, right? It's very hard to wait. I am probably more impatient than most of all of you, but I am really forcing myself here to remain patient, wait for those lower Bitcoin levels. If we're able to get 12, 10, 9K BTC to really start putting in more money at that point and not here, because the problem here, right, is if you saw the drop below 30K and you instantly rushed to buy a bunch right here at like 28K, right? Well, guess what happened? Literally a week later, you lost all of that. You lost a bunch of money, right? In terms of price percentage dip, you lost 30% just a week later. And why? That's because you bought the breakdown. You bought the falling knife. And that's what I'm telling you. I really think we're seeing literally a repeat right here. It's just buying the falling knife down to the lower levels once again. So I'm waiting for that peak bottom. I'm really being patient here to not get caught up in the price moves and get over enthusiastic or overly aggressive with the purchasing. That's how you buy at the wrong levels. So let's see, we have a lot of people thanking me for all the analysis. And you know what? I've been streaming for quite some time here, so we're going to wrap up the stream. Big thank you to everyone. Make sure to leave one last like and subscribe. If you want to leave any parting comments, let me know. I'd love to see those comments before I exit, or any quick last coin analysis. But right now, if I go to, let's do the 1 hour chart on Bitcoin, we're starting to see the red come back in again. Yes, we could potentially move a little bit higher, but any true bounce right now is going to get shorted very aggressively. And really, it seems to me, based on what I'm seeing, that we are actually, you know, starting to see that shorting pressure come back in again. Could peak out a little bit more, but ultimately right now, people, whales, any smart money is loading the shorts to press the further liquidations to the downside. Sad reality of how harsh the markets can be, but it is the reality of the cryptocurrency market. please, everyone, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed spending this bit of my afternoon with all of you, taking a look at the charts, being with you during the market drop, and updating you guys properly. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and shut down the stream, and I'll see you next time.